Little boat on the river, you always manage to stay. I messed up.
And
Ready?
tape 2. I said tape 3.
This is called Little Boat. Little boat on the river, you always manage to stay afloat. But you always stay so quiet when the words you said made you choke. Little boat on the river, why haven't you sunken yet? Positivity here and there, forever stuck with the pain and sorrow you always dread. Little boat on the river, you have always been way too kind to let these rapids bully you and poison your mind. Little boat on the river, how come you're so lost? You've had everything you needed and could possibly want. Little boat on the river, why do you shy away from the sun? Why do you run from the future when your journey has only just begun? You are so very new and so very kind to be hurting and almost dead in the soul, body, and mind. Little boat on the river, let me know what you think, how it felt, how it feels when the life beneath you finally sank. When the rapid waters hit you, how did it feel? Does the reality you live in even feel real? Little boat on the river, please don't cry. The water seems a bit scary, but you made it out just in time. Little boat on the river, this was just a test. They wanted to push you hard until you fell off the edge. The pain is buried like the treasure chest in the sand waiting to be found. Little boat was too quiet, he couldn't even make a sound until he sank down. Little boat, it's okay, because you're no longer in pain. The little boat is finally happy, but he was never the same.
That's so sad. 3 tapes. Seriously. Wow. Yeah, we can do another one. So, tape 1, new story.
Why is depression fighting me? I'm breathing in toxic air and my lungs are burning. I'm drifting down a slow-moving river, getting lost with every curve I pass. I'm numbing the pain inside and it still finds a way to bleed through. I'm living a life I don't want to live. I'm hiding behind a mask that only covers my mouth. I've cut every source of life out, and now I've caught mourning the loss of it. I cut myself so deep with a surgeon precision, and I only find that it isn't deep. I just scratch my skin. I run faster than the speed of light, but depression always keeps up. If he falls behind, he was only ever behind by a few meters, so he really wasn't behind. I've fallen into a pit of bad things, and every time I find something good in myself, it gets burned out of my soul. I'm fighting myself to find the middle ground with depression, but it keeps winning, and I'm losing my energy. There's no compromise with depression. It's only here for one thing and one thing only, and that's to slowly destroy me.
Wow, that's so sad that we had to do one tape that time and it took like 5 tapes the other one.
Okay, we'll do a troublesome girl.
Okay, tape 1, new story.
A troublesome girl. As I learn and try to grow, I notice some things that might be uncomfortable for many people. I go ahead and express myself how I always have, and I get treated less than equal. I haven't had any sort of stability, which results in finding less care and being borderline to insanity. I take back all the effort and care and look around and continue my search when nobody's even there. Nobody heard me cry and nobody can hear me shout. The only thing they ever heard is me falling and hitting the ground. I search and hunt for it day in and day out, only to find what I'm looking for may never be found. The result of being a broken person may only end in heartbreak, meaning there's nobody out there who will ever care enough to stay. The majority of the time I can't keep my head on straight, but if you feel the world on top of your chest, you'd feel the same way. I'm a troublesome girl, searching what was taken away, but at the rate she's falling, she might not see another day.
Wow. 2 tapes with one tape. In the first one, it took like 3 tapes.
Okay, ready?
Wow. Lights, camera, action. Tape 1, new story.
This is the final story. It's called Forgotten. It's not quite finished yet, but here it is. She lost touch with everything in her life to adapt to his needs. She dropped her everything to make sure he was happy, and he didn't appreciate her for that. She gave her lungs for him to breathe. I messed up.
Wow. Tape 2.
Okay. This is a new one. It's called Forgotten. It's not quite done yet. She lost touch with her life and needed to adapt to his needs. She dropped everything to make sure he was happy, and he didn't appreciate her for that. She gave her lungs for him to breathe. She gave him her heart so he would have the blood supply to think clearly. She gave him the light so he could see his dreams clearly. She gave him her motivation so he could accomplish everything he has ever wanted to do. She gave her spirit so he could see the light that was beautiful instead of being surrounded by his demons. She gave her hope so he could be okay even on his worst days. She led him toward being great, and it was not good enough. He had the most amazing woman that gave her everything to see him smile, but he looked for happiness everywhere else. She gave her life to him so he could live his. She could sit and watch him smile for hours, but he couldn't even look at her for a second. 86,400 seconds in an entire day, and he never glanced at her for one. The way she looked at him was unearthly. He was a god in her eyes, all perfection, no mistakes. He had everything except a soul. You see, a normal human being would recognize the effort, strength, support, and nurturing love a person could give, but he was blind. Blind because he never had the support or love from anybody. Blind because of the pain from abandonment. Blind because he shut off the part of his brain that had sentiment in it. He didn't want to feel, so he pushed out everybody who attempted to get in. You see, his manipulation ran deep, deeper than a black hole. With her weak body, she somehow found enough strength to continue fighting. But she's running out of energy, and now she's feeling lost. She fought the fight to the best of her abilities, and now she's done. She completely ran out.
That one's so sad. It also took 2 tapes that time. And that will be the